Good morning, classmates. Good morning, Doc. My name is Riza I. Campos. Today, I will be presenting on the topic of circular economy and corporate social responsibility towards an integrated strategic approach in the multinational cosmetics industry. This research comes from a paper in the Journal of Cleaner Production, authored by Donato Moria, Simona Fortunati, and Laura Martinillo. This is really important area as it looks at how businesses are trying to become more sustainable. Our objective of this lesson are understand the concept of circular economy and corporate social responsibility, explain the importance of integrating CE and CSR for sustainable business practices, analyze how MNCs in the cosmetic industries are implementing CE and CSR. Lastly, discuss the challenges and benefits of adopting integrated CE and uh, CSR strategies. The agenda or the following agenda are introduction, important of business, government, and society, background and context, key concepts and theories, real world application, challenges and controversies, conclusion and insight. Okay, first, sustainability has become an important part of corporate management philosophy. So, companies communicate their sustainability efforts through mandatory and non mandatory reports identifying objectives and best practices to achieve sustainable development goals. To know the concept of corporate social responsibility and circular, let's define these two. First is corporate social responsibility as a concept whereby companies integrate social and environmental concerns in their business operations and in their interaction with their stakeholders on a voluntary basis, according to European Commission in 2001. Now, the circular economy is a model of production and consumption that aims to minimize waste and maximize the use of resources. The circular economy represents a systematic shift from a linear economy to a regenerative model that reduces reliance on virgin raw materials and promotes reuse and recycling. So, this approach aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals or the SDGs and addresses the challenges of resource scarcity and environmental degradation. Corporate social responsibility and the circular economy can be integrated for cleaner production despite having different theoretical focuses. Okay, let's proceed now to the next slide. The importance of business, government, and society. To understand why this integration is so important, we need to look at the bigger picture. The environment we operate in is becoming increasingly complex. This means companies can just focus on profits. They also need robust management models that consider the expectations of society and all their stakeholders, and they need to think long term. The increasing complexity of the environment requires companies to develop competitive management models. So these models aim to make profits while meeting the long term expectations of society and stakeholders. CSR has evolved to include improvements in economic performance, operational efficiency, quality, innovation, and competitiveness. So, this evolution links CSR to sustainability and environmental issues, approaching the circular economy. So, what exactly is the circular economy? Well, it's a fundamental shift away from traditional linear economy. In a linear economy, we take resources, make products, and then dispose of them. So the circular economy, on the other hand, aims to reduce the demand for new raw materials by prioritizing the reuse and recycling of existing materials and products. So this is crucial because it helps us tackle some of the major economic and employment challenges we face. Agenda 2030, which includes the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically Objective 12 promotes this transition to a circular economy. It emphasizes efficient resource use, waste reduction, and a new economic model. To make this transition effective, it's essential that companies disclose their sustainability practices, typically through annual reports. In fact, CSR reports are now mandatory for large companies to provide information on their environmental, social, and governance practices. Okay, let's proceed now to the key concept and theories. Let's take a moment to define some of the core concepts we've been discussing. Corporate social responsibility. This is where companies integrate social and environmental concerns into their business operations and how they interact with their stakeholders. Circular economy. This is a system that minimizes the need for new raw materials by focusing on reuse and recycling. Now, I will be discussing how corporate social responsibility and circular economy practices have been observed in relation to seven key areas of activities in multinational companies. These are the design, sourcing, manufacturing, packaging, distribution, consumer use, and post consumer use. Let's dive into each one and explore how companies are integrating eco-friendly practices uh, into their operations. First, design. The concept of eco-design is fundamental to the sustainability practices of these companies. Eco-design and eco-conception are tools that help improve the durability of products, extending their life cycle. All the companies analyze consider designing as a crucial factor of upstream products, focusing on making products more sustainable uh, from the outset. However, while design is a common area of attention, in some cases it is not always linked to specific sustainability goals or objectives. The second, the second areas, sourcing. In terms of sourcing, environmental preservation is a key focus. All the companies are committed to reducing their environmental footprint with clear actions focused on reducing CO2 emission, waste, water consumption, and plastic usage. Additionally, they each pursue various environmental certifications. These certifications are essential as they face organizations to implement structured planning and control systems, ensuring that their sourcing practices align with sustainability goals. The third areas, manufacturing. The manufacturing process is particularly important for companies looking to find raw materials that are more sustainable, such as vegetable based materials. Many organizations have set objectives to increase their use of raw materials that are natural or organic, with some aiming for as much as 80% to 100% of the raw materials to come from these sources. Notably, two companies, Shady Group and Yeso Rucher Group, have set a goal of achieving 100% vegetable origin products, showcasing their strong commitment to sustainability in manufacturing packaging. Sorry. in manufacturing. The next areas is packaging. Packaging is another area where significant efforts are being made to reduce environmental impact. All the companies involved in the study believe that reducing packaging volume, weight, and materials is a critical step in reducing their environmental footprint. Some companies such as L'Oreal, Guerlain, and Shiseido are even committing to using refillable containers, acknowledging the growing consumer demand for more packaging options. The goal is to minimize single-use containers, reduce plastic packaging, and transition to materials that are recyclable, aiming for nearly 100% recyclability in packaging. The fifth one, distribution. The distribution of products and the transportation of goods are also vital in terms of sustainability. Companies are focusing on reducing CO2 emission from transportation. For example, L'Oreal and Guerlain have committed to achieving zero CO2 emission in their transportation process. Additionally, alternative transport methods such as car sharing, carpooling, and electric vehicles are being explored to optimize transport logistics and minimize environmental impact. The next one is consumer use. The consumer use factor has been interpreted as a more social approach. Companies are supporting social and environmental projects that can have positive impact on both employees and communities. So health and social care initiatives are seen as ways to reduce healthcare costs and provide indirect economic benefits to the company. These benefits include easier access to credit, risk reduction, and better relationships with stakeholders. Furthermore, a company's commitment to sustainable enhances its brand reputation, which in turn leads to increased sales and customer loyalty. The seventh one, or the last one, post-consumer use. Lastly, the post-consumer use phase focuses on reducing waste sent to landfills. Companies are exploring various ways to manage post-consumer waste, aiming to close the loop in the circular economy. Efforts are being made to ensure that products are recyclable or can be reused, minimizing waste and promoting sustainability even after the consumer has used the product. In conclusion, the seven areas of design, sourcing, manufacturing, packaging, distribution, consumer use, and post consumer use reflect how multinational companies are integrating CSR and C practices into their operations. So these companies are working towards reducing their environmental impact while simultaneously creating economic benefits. By committing to sustainability in each of these areas, they not only enhance their brand reputation but also contribute to a more sustainable future. The shift toward a circular economy is not just about reducing waste, but also about creating long term value for both businesses and societies. Okay, let's apply this in the real world. Okay, so now how are these concept being applied in the real world? In the cosmetic sector, for example, multinational companies are increasingly responding to consumer demand for products that have a lower environmental impact, often with organic certification. Environment Environmental sustainability is a key focus in the cosmetic industry. Companies are actively promoting eco-friendly solutions reducing waste and CO2 emission using eco-design principles and minimizing packaging. So, circularity in this industry means integrating CSR with various practices that involve everyone from employees to suppliers and customers. The Baum et al. 2019 model provides a useful framework for this integration. It outlines key dimensions like design, sourcing, manufacturing, packaging, distribution, consumer use, and post consumer use to achieve sustainability. Okay, here comes now challenges and controversies. So it's important to acknowledge that there are still challenges and areas of debate in this field. For example, there's a lack of research on the specific connection between CSR and CE strategies and how integrating them affects reporting practices. While many argue for the interconnection between CSR and C, more research is needed to fully understand this relationship. Additionally, implementing circular economy practice can involve significant cost for organization, and shareholders may sometimes resist changes that they perceive as increasing cost or conflict with short-term um, goals. Okay, here comes now the conclusion and insight. The study reveals a good level of integration between CSR and CE strategies and MNCs, with CSR expanding to include environmental and sustainability objective. Circularity is considered essential for implementing new models with attention to sustainable packaging and customer awareness. So, in conclusion, this study highlights a growing integration of CSR and CE strategies within multinational cosmetics companies. CSR is expanding to incorporate environmental and sustainability objectives, demonstrating a shift toward more holistic business model. Circularity is increasingly seen as essential for these new models, with a strong emphasis on sustainable packaging solution and raising customer awareness about sustainability. CSR reports are providing tool for communicating circular design and broader sustainability goals. Ultimately, integrating CSR and CA can pave the way for a more sustainable production process, characterized by reduced emission, the use of plant-based ingredients, reusable packaging, and a commitment to minimizing CO2 emission. So therefore, this study shows that by combining corporate responsibility and the the cosmetics industry can make significant stride towards a more sustainable future. So this is all my report. Once again, I am Riza I Campos. Thank you for listening and goodbye.